Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 3, Text 3. Atha ha tam avishkrita bhuja yugala dvayam hiranmayam purusha vishesham kapisha kauseya ambara dharam urasi vilasat Shrivatsa Lalamam Daravara Vanaruha Vanamala Achuri Amritamani Gada Adibhi Upalakshitam Sphutakirana Pravara Mukuta Kundala Kataka Katisutra Hara Keyura Nupura Adi Anga Bhushana Vibhushitam Ritvik Sadasya Grihapataya Adhanah Iva Uttamadhanam Upalabhya Sabahumanam Arhanena Avanata Shirshana Upatasthu. Atha hatam Avishkrita bhuja yugaladvayam Hiranmayam purusha vishesham Kapisha kausheyambaradharam Urasi vilasat Srivatsalamam Daravara vanaruha vanamala Achhuryamritamani gadabhir Upalakshitam Sphutakirana pravara mukuta Kundala kataka katisutra Hara keyura nupura Adyanga bhushana vibhushitam Ritvik sadasya grihapatayodhana Ivottamadhanam Upalabhya sabahumanam Arhanena vanata shirshana upatasthuhu. Atha, thereafter, ha, certainly, tam, him, avishkrita bhuja yugaladvayam, who manifested himself with four arms. See, instead of saying Chaturbhuja, it is said Bhuja Yugala Dvayam. Yugala means couple. Dvayam means two couple, four. So Bhuja, instead of Chaturbhuja, Bhuja Yugala Dvayam. Hiranmayam, very bright. Purusha Vishesham, the topmost of all living beings. Purushottama. Kapisha Kausheya Ambaradharam, wearing a yellow silk garment. Urasi, on the chest. Vilasat, beautiful. Shrivatsa, called Shrivatsa. Lalamam, possessing the mark. Daravara, by a conch shell. Vanaruha, lotus flower. Vanamala, garland of forest flowers. Achuri, disc. Amritamani, the Kaustubha gem, Gada Adibhi, and by a club and other symbols. Upalakshitam, symptomized. Sputakirana, radiant. Pravara, excellent. Mukuta, helmet. Kundala, earrings. Kataka, bracelets. Katisutra, girdle. Hara, necklace. You know what's a girdle? Yeah, they put the ornament, belt with gold. Ladies put, vadhana, yes. Hara, necklace. Keyura, armlets. Nupura, ankle bells. Adi, and so on. Anga, of the body. Bhushana, with ornaments. Vibhushitam, decorated. Yeah, this girdle, Kati Sutra. Kati means actually waist. Sutra means thread, like something with sutra. Ritvik, the priests. Sadasya, associates. Grihapataya, and King Nabhi. Adhana, poor persons. Iva, like. Uttamadhanam, a great treasure. Upalabhya, having achieved. Sabahumanam, with great regard. Arhanayana, with ingredients for worship. Avanata, bent. Shirshana, their heads. Upatasthu, worshipped. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Lord Vishnu appeared before King Nabhi with 4 arms. He was very bright and he appeared to be the best of all personalities. Around the lower portion of his body he wore a yellow silken garment. On his chest was the mark of Srivatsa, which always displays beauty. He carried a conch shell, lotus flower, disc and club, and he wore a garland of forest flowers and the Kaustubha gem. He was beautifully decorated with a helmet, earrings, bangles, belt, pearl necklace, armlets, ankle bells, and other bodily ornaments bedecked with radiant jewels. Seeing the Lord present before them, King Nabhi and his priests and associates felt just like poor people who have suddenly attained great riches. They received the Lord and respectfully bent their heads and offered him things in worship. Please repeat. Lord Vishnu appeared before King Nabhi with 4 arms. He was very bright and he appeared to be the best of all personalities. Around the lower portion of his body, he wore a yellow silken garment. On his chest was the mark of Srivatsa, which always displays beauty. He carried a conch shell, lotus flower, disc and club, and he wore a garland of forest flowers and the Kaustubha gem. He was beautifully decorated with a helmet, earrings, bangles, belt, pearl necklace, armlets, ankle bells and other bodily ornaments bedecked with radiant jewels. Seeing the Lord present before them, King Nabhi and his priests and associates felt just like poor people who have suddenly attained great riches. They received the Lord and respectfully bent their heads and offered him things in worship. So before going to the purport, Prabhu, can you bring my Brahmana and Vaishnava book on my table? There's one verse connected to all this in that book. Purport. It is distinctly mentioned here that the Supreme Personality of Godhead did not appear as an ordinary human being. He appeared before King Nabhi and his associates as the best of all personalities, Purushottam. As stated in the Vedas, Nityonityanam Chetanas Chetananam, Kathopanishad 2.13. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is also a living being, but he is the supreme living being. In Bhagavad Gita 7.7, Lord Krishna himself says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. No one is more attractive or more authoritative than Lord Krishna. That is one of the differences between God and an ordinary living being. According to this description of the transcendental body of Lord Vishnu, the Lord can easily be distinguished from all other living beings. Consequently, Maharaj Nabhi and his priests and associates all offered the Lord obeisances and began to worship him with various things. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yam labdha chaparam labham manyatenadhikam tataha. That is, upon gaining this, one thinks that there is no greater gain. When one realizes God and sees the Lord face to face, one certainly thinks that he has gained the best of all things. Rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Bhagavad Gita 2.59. When one experiences a higher taste, his consciousness is fixed. After seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one ceases to be attracted by anything material. One then remains steady in his worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here is a description of the beautiful ornaments of the Lord and his form, beautiful form, decorated very nicely. Now, all these descriptions of these bangles, belt, pearl necklace, armlets, ankle bells, kaustubha gem, Vaijayanti mala, disc, flower, conch shell. Actually, these are all persons. In the spiritual world, there is no non-living thing. There is nothing dead. So everything there is a person. So these seemingly inanimate objects are actually persons. And there is this beautiful verse quoted in this book, Brahmana and Vaishnava, written by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he quotes this from the Vaishnava Manjusha, which in turn quotes it from Prapannamrita. Prapannamrita is a book of the Sri Sampradaya. Yeah. So it is written in a language which is called, it is a mixture of Sanskrit and Tamil. And the language is called Manipravala. I don't think even many Tamil people know this. So the history of these associates. So two books, Divya Suri Charita and Prapannamrita. These two books are written in Manipravala language, which is a mixture of Sanskrit and Tamil. Now, the first verse of this, in chapter 74 of the book of Ornaments, it said, काशारभूत महदाह्वयभक्तिसाराः श्रीमत् छठारि कुलशेखरविष्णुचित्ता भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुमुनिवाह चतुष्कवीन्द्राः ते दिव्यसूरय इति प्रथिता दशोर्व्यां गोदा यतीन्द्रमिश्राभ्यां द्वादशैतान् विदुर्बुधाः विसृज्य गोदां मधुर कविना सहसत्तम केचित् द्वादश संख्यातान् वदन्ति विबुधोत्तमाः. Now, the meaning of this verse is, in the books, Kashara Muni or Sara Yogi these are actually the descriptions of the 12 Alvars, the 12 great Acharyas of the Sri Sampradaya, and their original position. Just like Gaura Ganodesha Deepika is a book in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, quoted many times in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a book which is written by Kavi Karnapur, the third son of Shivananda Sena, one of the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he wrote this book in which he identifies each of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what is their original position. Like Haridas Thakur is an incarnation of Brahma and Prahlad Maharaj. Sometimes two personalities, manifest in one person. That is also possible. And similarly, Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, who's one of Manjari means younger gopi. Actually, Manjari means bud, flower bud, but also used in the context of very young girls, just like about 12, 13. So the older gopis are about 16 years old, who actually have more intimate pastimes, and the Manjaris help assist the other gopis. So in this way, every single associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his real identity is given. Now here, in this Prapannamrita book, Kashara Muni, who is called Payagai Alvar, Bhuta Yogi, who is called Kudatta Alvar, who is an incarnation of the Lord's conch, the conchal of the Lord incarnated as Kudatta Alvar, who is also called Bhuta Yogi. Then Bhranta Yogi or Mahad, also called Pei Alvar. Then Bhaktisara, Tirumadi Sai Piran Alvar. Shathari, his name is Satharu, right? Also known as Shathakopa, Parankusha and Bakulambaran. He is called Namalvar. Namalvar means the holy name. Kulashekara Alvar, who was an incarnation of the Kaustubha gem. The Kaustubha gem of the Lord incarnated as Kulashekara Alvar, who wrote the Mukundamala Stotra. See, Vishnu Chitta Peri Alvar, who was an incarnation of Garuda. Bhaktangri Renu Tonda Radipadi Alvar. Munivaha, also known as Yogi Vaha and Prananath, is called Tirupani Alvar, who was an incarnation of Srivatsa. Srivatsa is the hair of the Lord, that is also a person. You see? Then Chatukavi or Parakal or Tirumanga Alvar who constructed the whole Srirangam city, the biggest temple in the world, area-wise. So that whole thing was constructed by Tirumanga Alvar. He stole money from rich people and constructed. It took him 60 years to build it. He started when he was 20, he finished it when he was 80. And this Tirumanga Alvar, he is an incarnation of the Lord's bow, Sharanga. The Lord's bow incarnated as Tirumanga Alvar. Goda, Andal, the only female Alvar, who was an incarnation of Neela Lakshmi. Ramanuja, Yambarumanar or Udayavar Illai Alvar, who was an incarnation of Lakshman, Ramanuja. In fact, name itself, Ramanuja, the younger brother of Ram, Lakshman, and Madhura Kavigal Alvar. So some of them, I don't know who their original position is, but some of these Alvars are actually the ornaments of the Lord. All these that we have read, these are persons. So that is the nature of spiritual world. Everything is a person. And here, um, the unique thing about the Lord is these ornaments. Usually, people wear these ornaments to beautify themselves, to beautify themselves. But here, the ornaments become beautiful by being worn by the Lord. And this is explained in this verse. 3:12. यन्मत्यलीलौपैकं स्वयोगं मायाबलं दर्शयतागृहीतं विस्मापनं स्वस्य च सौभगर्थे परं पदं भूषणभूषणाङ्गम्. Bhushanabhushanangam. The Lord appeared in the mortal world by his internal potency, Yogamaya. He came in his eternal form, which is just suitable for his pastimes. These pastimes were wonderful for everyone, even for those proud of their own opulence, including the Lord himself in his form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Thus, his or Sri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Parampadam Bhushana Bhushanangam. There is another verse also, I think, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this has more consequences. Come on, stop playing. This is very disrespectful. Bhushaner Bhushana Anga Tahe Lalita Tribhanga Tahar Upara Bhrudhanu Nartana Terache Netranta Bana Tara Dridha Sandhana Vindhe Radha Gopi Ganamana. This is in Bengali. Ornaments carries that body, but the transcendental body of Krishna is so beautiful that it beautifies the ornaments he wears. Therefore, Krishna's body is said to be the ornament of ornaments. Enhancing the wonderful beauty of Krishna is his three-curved style of standing, which, Tribhanga Lalitam. Krishna stands with three-bending form. Above all these beautiful features, Krishna's eyes dance and move obliquely, acting like arrows to pierce the minds of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. When the arrow succeeds in hitting its target, their minds become agitated. So, with some arrows he is killing demons, with another arrows he is capturing gopis. Pushpabana, the flower arrows of Cupid. So in this way, Lord Krishna is situated as the ornament of all ornaments. And case in point, this Kulashekar Alvar, who is the Kaustubha gem, who is the gem adorning the Lord, he wrote this verse, 30th verse of the Mukundamala Stotra. Bhaktāpāya bhujanga garudamanis Trailokya rakshamanir Gopi lochana chatakambudamani Saundarya mudramani Yahkantamani rukmini ghanakucha Dvandvaika bhushamani Shreyo deva shikhamanir dishatuno Gopala chudamani. So 8 times the word money is used. Money means gem. So he is the jewel riding on the back of Garuda. Not that Krishna needs Garuda to fly around. No, he is the jewel riding on the back of Garuda. So Garuda's jewel is the Lord, who carries away the Lord's devotees on his wings. He is the magic jewel protecting the three worlds. The people wear some jewels to protect themselves from influence of planets. But actually, he is the jewel who can protect the three worlds. All these Shani and all these, they try to contract with some gemstones. Real gemstone is the Lord. The jewel-like cloud attracting the Chataka bird eyes of the gopis. So Chataka bird, they are unique birds. They drink water only from the clouds. They drink water from the clouds. They wouldn't drink from water from the reservoirs of water from the clouds. So jewel-like cloud attracting the Chataka bird eyes of the gopis. And the jewel among all who gesture gracefully. He is the most graceful person. He is the only jeweled ornament on the ample breasts of Queen Rukmini. And Rukmini is also described as Kantamani. Of all the consorts, she is the crest jewel of all consorts of the Lord. And he is the jewel for Rukmini, who is herself the jewel of all beloved consorts. May the crown jewel of all gods, Deva Shikhamani, the best of the cowherds, Gopala Chudamani, grant as the supreme benediction. So, here, in this verse, King Kulashekar gives us glimpses of Lord Kṛṣṇa and some of his various leelas. In each example, the Lord is described as money, a jewel. Like a jewel, he is self-effulgent, very beautiful and highly valuable. Without a jewel, a ring setting looks empty. And so without Kṛṣṇa, Garuda would have no extraordinary importance. Although he is a large and powerful bird, without Kṛṣṇa, the gopis' eyes would have no place to rest and nothing to see. Just as a Chataka bird remains restless until it sees a rain-bearing and life-giving cloud. As Lord Chaitanya says in the mood of a gopi, the whole world appears vacant without you. In the absence of Kṛṣṇa, the gods would be without their crest jewel and their own value would fall away. Why Brahma, Shiva, Indra, all these are great? For what? Because they have been appointed by the Lord to, take care of universal affairs. If there is no Lord to appoint them, what is their position? Nothing. Thus, Lord Kṛṣṇa is the absolutely essential figure in his own Leela in the spiritual world as well as in all the operations of the material world. As he states in the Bhagavad Gita, everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. When a soul misuses his free will, he tries to become the center of existence and thinks he can do without Kṛṣṇa. This mistake is illustrated in the story of Satyajit, who once possessed a wondrous jewel called Samantaka, which he wore in a locket around his neck. When Satyajit entered Dwarka, Kṛṣṇa asked him to deliver the jewel to the king, Ugrasena. But instead, Satyajit installed the jewel in a temple, worshipped it, and gained 170 pounds of gold daily. Because of his claim that the jewel did not belong to Kṛṣṇa, King Satyajit and his family suffered in many ways. The king found peace only when he realized that the Samantaka should be given to the supreme jewel, Lord Kṛṣṇa. And so he gave both the jewel and his daughter Satyabhama to the Lord. So, all these ornaments, they don't beautify the Lord beautifies the ornaments. Now, we can also beautify ourselves with the Lord. For example, for a devotee, what are the main decorations? Tilak. That is dress. But decoration is tilak, which is again Kantimala, Shikha, Narsimha Kavacha. So, what are they? They are all related to the Lord. And apart from the external ornaments, Kanthahara means what? A necklace. Actually, there is a verse. Let me see if I can find it. Something. Never mind. So, the throat should be decorated not just by some glittering necklaces, but by the words glorifying the Lord. There are actually verses like this. You can go to this one, for example. Okay. So here King Kulashekar is praying. नमामि नारायण पादपङ्कजं करोमि नारायण पूजनं सदा वदामि नारायण नाम निर्मलं स्मरामि नारायण तत्त्वमव्ययम्. Every moment I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayan, I perform worship to Narayan. I recite the pure name of Narayan and I reflect on the infallible truth of Narayan. Now, this is one thing. Then there is this other verse. Pranamamishasya shirah phalam vidus tadarchanam prana phalam divokasah manah phalam tad guna tattva chintanam vachah phalam tad guna kirtanam buddhaha. The wise inhabitants of the heavenly regions know that the perfection of the head is to offer prostrate obeisances to the Supreme Lord. The perfection of life breath is to worship the Lord. The perfection of the mind is to ponder the details of His transcendental qualities and also philosophy. And the perfection of speech is to chant the glories of His qualities. And yes. 1085-59, this verse. Shri Suta Uvacha. Ya idamanushro. Oh, this is This is, I think, not even a. Is it even a prose or a verse? I don't know. Wait a second. Ya idamanushrinoti shravayedva muraresh charitamamrita kirter varnitam vyasaputraih jagadaghabhidalam tad bhakta satkarnapuram bhagavati kritachitto yadi tat kshema dhama. This is 15 syllables. Just one syllable more than the Brahma Samhita verses. So here you see Karnapuram, ornament for the ears. So instead of wearing some fancy earrings, the devotees wear these things. Sri Suta Goswami said, this pastime enacted by Lord Murari, whose fame is eternal, totally destroys the sins of the universe and serves as the transcendental ornament for his devotees' ears. Anyone who carefully hears or narrates this pastime as recounted by the venerable son of Vyasa will be able to fix his mind in meditation on the Supreme Lord and attain to the all-auspicious kingdom of God. So the pastimes of Lord Krishna, hearing them is the ornament for the ears, and speaking them is the ornament for the kantahara. Instead of that is our actual necklace. In fact, there is a verse that Trinadapi Sunichena Karorapa Sahishvana. That verse should be the kantahara of devotees. There is a verse like that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I am unable to find it though. Maybe if you go to Trinadapi Sunichena, maybe next verse. Yes. Adi 1732. Urdhva bahu kare kahan suna sarvalok naam sutre gaathe para kanthe e shlok. Raising my hands, I declare, everyone please hear me. String this verse on the thread of the holy name and wear it on your neck for continuous remembrance. So, so this the thread should be the holy name, and this should be the ornament. Kṛṣṇa. That means with the holy name should be chanted with humility. So that is the chanting the holy name is the ornament of the devotee, and his behavior is his ornament. That is also there. Sadhu Bhushan. Yeah. यद्यपि तुम्हें हो जगत पावन तुम्हां स्पर्श पवित्र हो देव मुनि गण तथापि भक्त स्वभाव मर्यादा रक्षण मर्यादा पालन हो साधु भूषण. Dear Sanatana, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe and although even the demigods and great saints are purified by touching you, it is a characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. So, these ornaments, these are the real ornaments. There is another verse actually in the Stotra. Yat Krishna pranipata dhulithavalam tadvashma tadvaishiraste netre tamasojjite suruchire yabhyam harir drishyate sa buddhir vimalendu shankhathavala ya madhavadhyayini sa jihvamrita varshini pratipadam ya stauti narayanam. This is the so that head is the loftiest or is the best. No, usually what head is the loftiest, which is crowned by some crown of a king. But no, that head is the loftiest, which is white with dust from bowing down to Lord Krishna. That is the real crown. That is the ornament. Those eyes are the most beautiful, which darkness has abandoned after they have seen Lord Hari. So Lord Hari again is the decoration for the eyes. That intelligence is spotless like the white glow of the moon or a conch shell, which concentrates on Lord Madhava. So intelligence also is purified by concentrating on it. And that tongue rains down nectar, which constantly glorifies Lord Narayan. Again, that is the. Otherwise, we have this verse from I think Sanatana Goswami or Rupa Goswami. Bhagavad Bhakti Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya. This is by Sanatana Goswami, right? So, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastram Japastapaha Apranasyeva Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. Mandanam. Decoration. So if you are decorated with anything else other than the Lord, it's actually a decoration on a dead body. For a person devoid of devotional service, birth in a great family or nation, knowledge of the revealed scriptures, performance of austerities and penance, and chanting of Vedic mantras are all like ornaments on a dead body. Such ornaments simply serve the concocted pleasures of the general populace. So people may, you know, glorify such ornaments. Oh, somebody has become, the richest man in the world, or the most famous man in the world, or the greatest fighter, greatest sportsman, whatever it is. People, many millions of billions of people may glorify such things. But actually, what is the value of the people's opinion? They don't know nothing about the aim of life. So if fools collectively have an opinion about something, that's not anywhere near reality. So therefore, this majority opinion, this democracy, is actually a very faulty system. Voting system is very faulty because what is the qualification of the person who is voting? What is the value of his vote if he himself does not know what the aim of life is? So his popular opinion, vox populi as they say, that is useless. We may be glorified by some people in this world, but at the end of life, at the time of death, this will not help us. So these are ornaments on a dead body. The real life is Krishna consciousness. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. If Bhagavad Bhakti is not there, Krishna Bhakti is not there, then all this Jati, Shastra, Japas, Tapaha, all these things are useless. Nonsense. Why Krishna is the jewel? Why Krishna is the life of everything? If you see, if we analyze ourselves, Prabhupada explains very nicely in a lecture. He proved Krishna is the most attractive person by logic. He said, even if a woman is extremely decorated and everything, why would a man be attracted to a woman? Because of the soul. If the woman body, however beautiful, is dead, no man would be interested. So the thing that makes a person attractive is the person itself, the soul. The body is not the person. Body is like a dress. We think body is me and my soul. Sometimes we say my soul. Sometimes they say dog soul. So it's not dog soul or anything. Soul is having a body of a dog. Soul is the same. All souls are exactly the same. They are part and parcel of the Lord. In their original nature, everybody is a servant of Krishna. In proportion to their forgetfulness of that relationship, they take different bodies in this material world, some more ignorant than others. In human life, we are relatively aware of our position, or at least we can be aware of our position. Whereas in animal life, there is no chance. When we were animals, when we were in the animal bodies, we had no chance. Now we have a chance to inquire, to understand. But if we don't, then there is no better, we are no better than the animals. So, the life, the soul is what makes the body attractive. Why is the soul attractive? Because it is a part and parcel of Krishna. Very small amsha of Krishna is so attractive that one wants to spend his whole life with that person. So how much is the original person attractive? So Krishna has to be all attractive. Because if such a small fragment of his existence can be so attractive to people, then Krishna has to be the most attractive. So in this way, Prabhupada very nicely explained that just by observing the body, we can understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is most attractive. So that is why he is the life of everything. Without him, everything has no relation, no meaning. Now the scientists, they are trying to find out the extents of the universe, trying to explore planets, trying to explore technologies and many things. But they are unable to come to a conclusion on why in the first place. Okay, there is space, there are planets there, but why? They cannot understand this. They may try to explain in their own imperfect stupidity way that there are some planets, only Earth has life, we are exploring life on other planets, maybe there's a possibility of life on Mars. They say like this, but actually we know from our Vedas where every planet is congested with life, there is full of life. If we cannot see it, that is because we are conditioned. We cannot see ghosts, but they're there. It's not about question of believing or not, they're there. So, but why we cannot see them? Because they have a subtle body of mana, buddhi, ahankar. And all the demigods beyond them, ghosts already have a subtle body, which cannot be seen by our naked eye. Now the Vidyadharas, Charanas, who are sub-demigods, they are higher than ghosts. They have also subtle bodies. And as you go higher and higher, it is more and more subtle. Brahma has a body made only of intelligence. Intelligence. So, even the planet of his is very subtle. So, we cannot even see many things. We just judge based on our limited, small, don't sit like that with those legs stretched. So, with our small, minuscule experience of this world. This is called, what is that called? Kopamandukanyaya. Kopamandukanyaya means this is the philosophy of the frog in the well. The frog in the well was once told by another frog that, hey, there is something called the ocean. There's a lot of water in that, lot of water there. Then this frog asked, how much water? How much water? Is it like double of this well? Triple? 10 times? 20 times? 100 times? 1000 times? So he's trying to imagine the vast extent of the ocean. Don't do that. Don't put your hand in the mouth. Go and wash your hand. Go and wash your hand in the wash basin. Go now, 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 now. So the frog was trying to estimate the size of the ocean based on his limited experience of the well. So this is our problem. We try to understand everything based on the limited experience we have here. Now I cannot live in water, but it does not mean that nobody can live in water. The fish are living. Similarly, if I can't live on the sun, it's not that nobody can live on the sun. You just have to have a body made predominantly of fire. Then you can be easily staying in the sun without any problem. The soul, being spiritual, cannot be touched by fire or water or air or anything like that. So it just needs a suitable body to live there. Actually, it doesn't need a body. Because we are conditioned, we require a body. We are trapped in a body. It's a punishment. So anyway, the point is, the life of everything is the soul. Now my body is moving because of the soul only. And now the throat is producing voice, and digestive system is working, the nervous system is working, everything is working, the skeletal system, everything is working, but it cannot work without the empowerment by the soul. If the soul is missing, all the mechanics of the body, although very nicely arranged, they will stop working. It's like you may have all the wiring done, but if it's not connected to the powerhouse, you cannot have any electricity. So the powerhouse is the spirit soul. So if one soul has so much power that it can, of course, we also need food, right? That is for the body. But even if food is fed to the dead body, then nothing will work. So the food is not the real thing. Just like in the car, you need fuel, yes. But if there's no driver, you cannot drive. Now they say self-driving car. But that does not mean it's just going on its own. Somebody is pressing the button and then the engineer has actually engineered the whole system. Many engineers together. They have engineered the system. And they have satellites and everything. So it's an illusion of self-driving. It's not self-driving. It's an illusion. It is completely governed by inputs from living people. So in any case, the body is only powered by the living entity, and the living entity is so powerful only because he is the atomic fragment of the Lord. So how much more powerful is the Lord? But if we don't use our life to understand this thing, the importance of the Lord, how actually He is the one who beautifies everything. Without Him, everything is meaningless. Like the scientists, as I said, they're trying to find out physics, mathematics, laws and everything. They say even law of gravity, law of quantum physics or whatever. But why don't they question, okay, who's the lawmaker? Einstein is given all the credit to find out some law of E equal to mc square and all that. Einstein just discovered it. Who actually created it? Einstein did not create it. Or Newton did not create gravity. No. They just found something and they observed something. They just observed. For observing, they got so much credit. Hundreds of years later, we're still glorifying them. The one who created got no credit, no mention. Don't even mention in the school God. Don't mention Him. Faith, that is your faith. This is the rubbish. Yeah. Thomas Edison is a good example. He created bulb. So much. Oh, he created bulb. The sun is there, bulb every day. brightly shining, and not only giving light, giving our life. The plants, if they don't take the sun, to make the plants in such a way that they subsist on sunlight. What is what engineering level it should be to create such system? We are talking about ecological balance. Who created the balance, first of all? Huh? Who created the system that some plants have to take from the sun and water and earth and everything, and then herbivores eat plants, and then carnivores eat herbivores, and so the whole thing is designed by the Lord in such a perfect way, and then no mention. So this is not just faith; this is science. We are talking here science. We are the greatest scientists in the world. It's not out of pride we are saying this, because we are actually taking the science from Krishna. And the so-called scientists, they are idiots. They are idiots, rascals, purposefully denying God. That's why just now, before the Bhagavatam class, we had the song Vidyar Vilase. The song was about material education, how it is useless in saving us from the miseries of material existence. Big PhDs, they have zero idea who they are. Designation PhD. He doesn't even know ABCD of himself. And he's the biggest scientist. Huh? He doesn't even know who he is. So without Krishna's knowledge, our knowledge has no value. Without Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, this knowledge, our so-called knowledge, what is the value? Huh? We are thinking that is everything, and pushing children to study. In the end, become ass. The song was saying, "Shay Gadha hoy, samsar boja." Yeah? You're becoming a gadha, ass, working like an ass. How the ass, carries so much load for the Kobi, washerman, and so much so that his legs are giving way, and he's still walking and getting beaten by the master. That is how we are being led in this so-called corporate capitalist society. What is that? It's slavery. Capitalism, nothing but slavery. Communism is another form of slavery. So real system is that, capitalist viewpoint, worldview is that the thing that is the indicator of prosperity or happiness is money. That's what they think. If people can have good money, if the country GDP is good, okay, that is a developed country. If a person has money, he is the first class. Just like when you go to the aeroplane, air tickets. First class, business class, economy class. They make you sound that you are good, you are economical. But actually for them, for the airline company, you are a third class if you are taking economy class ticket. Instead of saying, if they say first class, second class, third class ticket, you will get angry. So they say first class, business class, economy class. So you are very economical, you are very, prudent with your wealth and make you sound good. But actually for them, you are a third class person. GDP, what is a developed country? Who has more money? Who has no money? Underdeveloped. Developing. So this GDP is not the key indicator, not at all the indicator. That's where our society is misled. We think that, and what is the success stories that we hear in the magazines, newspapers and news? Those who have made money, those who have made fame. This is the so-called role models of children. For children. But in Vedic education, the kings, they never worried about so much about money. There is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And finally bhakti, which is panchama purushartha, which is even higher than moksha, way higher than moksha. But at least for the arrangement of the society, there has to be varnashram system and dharma first, religious codes with scientific understanding, not just doing some rituals without any understanding of what we are doing. We are taught like that in since childhood. Mother, father will say, "Oh, please, jai jai karo, jai jai karo." Why I should do jai jai? After, when he goes to teenage, he will ask, "Why I should do jai jai?" No, you must do. Why? No, you cannot say like that. Are you tell me now why? I will do it, but you tell me why. Put some logic there. That's how they argue. And then the parents cannot tell because they have no idea. Never heard, never opened the Bhagavad Gita in their lives. If they ever have a Bhagavad Gita, it will be wrapped in a yellow cloth, put in the altar. Shut up, Krishna. Don't open your mouth. Huh? This is our respect for Bhagavad Gita. Honestly, I'm saying, so-called Brahmin family. Huh? I never saw Bhagavad Gita until I came to Krishna consciousness. I was in my college and one brahmachari sold it. This is our Bhagavad Gita. Until then, Vedas, Puranas, all these things are mythical subjects. Somewhere, like exotic, somewhere maybe found in some Ajanta Ellora caves, somewhere. No idea where it is, how it. So that is the kind of education. And then we are thinking, Kata and Kal is like a thorn. Kata means what? Thorn, right? So this is education is thorn, whereas the Krishna consciousness is a gem for education. So we have to be decorated with these things. Then automatically all good qualities will come. Because if we chant the holy name, if we hear about this philosophy, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, then we will develop this character. And that character is the ornament of the devotee. And then you see, just like the Alvars, who are the ornaments of the Lord. They came incarnated and they spread the glories of the Lord. So the preachers, they become the ornaments of the Lord. Being ornamented by the Lord, they spread that. And there's a nice verse, 25. This is the one. सौत्तमश्लोकमहन्मुखच्युतो भवत्पदाम्भोजसुधाकणानिलः स्मृतिं पुनर्विस्मृततत्त्ववर्त्मनां कुयोगिनां नो वितरत्यलं वरैः. My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. Such glorification of your lotus feet is just like saffron particles. When the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotee. So the dust of the Lord is spread by the words, glorification by the pure devotees. So there's no difference between the dust and the words about the Lord. Even Rupa Goswami and all these great acharyas, they have written such nice verses and songs in glorification of the Lord. They are not only beautiful poetically, but carry such great meaning. Now, if you go to a scientist and you study his thesis, the PhD, you have to write thesis and all this. One big book of essay, and then is quoting, something. But here we have the greatest science in poetry. Where is there science in poetry? I mean, science arranged in poetry. Bhagavatam, poetry. And all the Vaishnava songs, poetry. But they are talking about the greatest science. So our culture, we have the greatest topic, in the greatest expression, everything. And the culture, the whole method of how to go back to Krishna, end all our sufferings. What is the purpose of technological advancement? To remove sufferings, right? The promise is that with technological advancement, life becomes easier, more enjoyable. That is the promise. At least that's not going that way. We should be intelligent enough to see that. Fancy things may come along, but fancy problems will come along with them. We thought that iconic iPhone, reveal by Steve Jobs in 2007 was like the start of a new era. Yes, it is. it transformed the way we communicate. But with that communication, problems also came. It's not that it only brought, like positives, a whole lot of negative with it. Now people are so distracted that there is zero time for contemplation. Even what is life? Who am I? Who cares? Just watch now, scroll like that, laugh, like double tap, go next. This is life now. Everybody from small children to from a 2 year old, 1 year old, they also know which buttons to press on the screen. To old man going to die, still like that. No thinking, nothing, zero, brain dead. Jivan chava. There is a verse like that. Jivan chava. What is that? 2, 3, 23. Jivan shava means what? Dead body. Jivan means living dead. I think there is a movie like that, right? Living dead, ghosts. जीवन छवो भागवतांघ्रिरेणुं न जातुमर्त्यो भिलभेत यस्तु श्रीविष्णुपद्या मनुजस्तुलस्य श्वसञ्छवो यस्तु न वेदगन्धम्. This whole series, I think 5 verses are there. Beautiful verses. The person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotee upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. Shwasan chava means what? Breathing dead body. And what is a breathing dead body? There is a very nice verse also. This is तरवः किं न जीवन्ति भस्त्राः किं न श्वसन्त्युत न खादन्ति न मेहन्ति किं ग्रामे पशवो परे. Do the trees not live? Do the bellows of the blacksmith not breathe? All around us, do the beasts not eat and discharge semen? Think, why does this question is like that? Why is the question is like that? It is because these are the symptoms of life. Some people may argue, trees are also living very long life. But what is the value of such a long life? What is the difference between my life and tree life? Because we also want to live long. Stem cell research, something they're doing, trying to extend life. But what is the value of a long life? If such life is spent on sinful actions, a long life of sinful activity will guarantee us a long, very, very long life of a hellish life. You know that? One lifetime of sins. Suppose I am eating meat. Just one of the many, 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 many sins that I can do, eating meat. Now, if I eat meat, like many people here in this part of the world, outside India, even in India nowadays, 3 meals meat. All meals of the day meat, must have meat. Okay? What will happen? For every kill, for every animal or bird or insect or whatever I eat, I have to pay back. Yeah? So I have to be born as that animal, I have to be born as that bird. Now 3 meals a day, maybe 3 animals, or maybe sometimes, some main dishes, maybe crab and some prawn soup. Okay. Now how many prawns were in that soup? Okay, I have to count. So just count like that. Let's say for easy calculation, 1 meal, 1 animal gone. So 365 days times 3 animals in 1 year. Around 1,000 per year. Like that, if I have 100 years life, say 70 years life, 70,000 animals. 70,000 lives. I have to be born in the same way and slaughtered in the same way for 70,000 lifetimes. Not a joke. I'm not just joking. This is actually the fact. It's already mentioned in the Shastras. We are thinking it is all good. Oh, I can eat whatever I like. It doesn't make a difference. No, it does. So, one lifetime of sin That is just one of the sins, right? How many more sins we are doing? Yeah. So how many lifetimes? How many years would that translate into? And before even going to the animal body, we have to go to hell first, suffer there, and get used to the animal's body. Like for example, if I'm supposed to become a pig, suppose next life, I will be taken to hell, and I will what the pig eats stool. So I will be forced to eat stool. In the beginning, I cannot take it. Like how can I eat this? But it will put into my mouth. First of all, not just put in my mouth like that, tortured, and then the whole body is opened up, all organs, all inside out, washing machine, everything done for millions of years, and then after that, start eating stool. I cannot eat. It's like how? But no, I'm forced. I'm forced. Then once I am used to it, now go enjoy stool, pig body. This is how it happens. In fact, such things were even experienced by some of the warriors like Napoleon Bonaparte. He, French, right? French guy. So, in the end of his life, he was actually drinking horse urine. He was made to drink horse urine. Yeah, it's true. Even on earth, we can see all these hellish punishments. Even in World War II, they were the punishments that Hitler gave to the Jews in the concentration camps, and also there is another called Unit 731 in Japan. Horrible. Compared to that, the German Auschwitz camps are nothing. That level of torture. Hellish. Actually, they are hellish punishments. They were supposed to suffer them in hell, but they are already before even going to hell. They are suffering in this world. Now, we will feel pity for those who got the suffering. But actually, why they are getting it? Although it looks like injustice, in the supreme eye of the Lord, there is no injustice. Those who are suffering now, they did this to some others in the previous life. That's why they're getting it now. Of course, that does not mean we support all kinds of tortures. No, we're not saying that. Despite all our trials and efforts that these things should not happen, they happen. Why? Because the Lord has His own justice system. People will get in different ways. And of course, those who did the torture, they will suffer in the next life. Actually, now if we see the way the animals are treated in the livestock industry, they call it food industry. So, that is torture. If you do that to a human, going like chicken, going in conveyor belts and upside down or throat slashed, and then body beaten to a pulp and flesh taken out and then minced in a grinder. You do that to a human being? What is that? Terrorism. Now what is this? Terrorism to the animals, and why we will not get terrorism to ourselves? We are saying terrorism. Why is it happening in first place? Because we are causing terrorism to the animals. So nothing, there is no injustice at all in this world. In this life, a woman is raped. Why? She was a man who was a rapist. Action has an equal and opposite reaction. If a man rapes, then he will become a woman and he will be raped. We will have pity for the woman. We are not saying we should not have pity. You just see how objectively observe how karma works. It's very painful. So we think, there's injustice, we have to campaign. That is not the way to, rid the world of sinful or criminal activity or mentality. By introducing Kṛṣṇa consciousness, then automatically all good qualities will come in the population. You give Hollywood movies where people are kissing on the scene and having sex on the screen, and then you would pass it as entertainment, give license to the movie to be aired everywhere, and then you expect the population to have super high morals, and then they do nothing. You're feeding rubbish. Of course, the output will be rubbish. You can't expect saints out of a garbage dump. So, putting one input and expecting another output, what is that? If I sow an apple seed, can I expect an orange to come out? How can I expect? It's foolish idiocy. Idiotic nature this is. What is this? So, that's what we're doing right now. So simply living, simply having the symptoms of life, like trees, they live. Oh, you may say, oh, trees do not breathe. Okay, then what about the bellows of the blacksmith? They breathe. You know what is the bellows? Bellows. Harmonium has bellows. You know, you do that and then air is going in and out. That is all breathing, right? But just because breathing doesn't mean it is full of life. Life means Krishna consciousness. And no, breathing, no, but bellows of the blacksmith, they cannot pass semen and have sex and all that, and cannot eat. Okay, then the beasts are doing that. Now, how are we different if we say that we are full of life if we are doing these things because we are doing these things? So that is why it is asked like this. Then you see the next few verses, 3 verses, the 4 verses. Oh, this is the famous one. Shravit Varahoshta Kharai Samsuta Purusha Pashu Nayak Karna Pathopedo Jatunama Gadagrajaha. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evil. Next. Bilevatoro Krama Vikramanye Nashrinmatah Karnaputeena Rasya Jihvasati Dardurike Vasuta Nachopagayat Gatha. One who has not listened to the messages of the prowess about the prowess and marvelous acts of the personality of Godhead, and has not sung or chanted loudly the worthy songs about the Lord, is to be considered to possess ear holes like the holes of snakes, and a tongue like the tongue of a frog. Ornament, just now we saw the ornament. Those who don't do it are compared to frogs and ear holes, holes of snakes. Holes of snakes, the snake pit. Snakes only go. So if we actually every stream of information is like a snake going into the ears, stream of words, going in, poisoning the whole heart. So that's how it's nicely compared. We have seen two things. One, when our senses are in the service of the Lord, and now when the senses are not in the service of the Lord, how they are compared. Bhara param patta kirita jushtam apyuttamangam nanamen mukundam Shava Karauno Kurute Saparyam Hare Lasatkam Chanakam. The upper portion of the body, though crowned with a silk turban, is only a heavy burden if not bowed down before the personality of God, who can award mukti or freedom. And the hands, though decorated with glittering bangles made of gold, are like those of a dead man if not engaged in the service of the personality of God. Next one. बर्हायिते ते नयनेन राणां लिङ्गानि विष्णोर्न निरीक्षतो ये पादौ नृणां तौ द्रुमजन्म भाजौ क्षेत्राणि नानुव्रजतो हरेर्यौ. The eyes which do not look at the symbolic representations of the personality of Godhead Vishnu, his forms, name, quality, etc., are like those printed on the plumes of a peacock. The feathers of a peacock has like eye, like that kind of. What is the use of that eye? It cannot see. And the legs which do not move to the holy places where the Lord is remembered are considered to be like tree trunks. How? They are not moving from the material world. Coming to the temple is the real work of the legs. Instead of some ankle bells, of course ankle bells wearing is one thing, but real jewel is to come to the temple. And then finally we have this one. This one we have seen, Jivan Chava, Bhagavatamrita. Those who have no dust of the devotees and the Lord, breathing dead. Then next. Tadashnasaram hridayam vatedam yadgrihyamaner harinamadheyaihi navikriyetatha yada vikaro netre jalam gatra ruheshu harsha. Certainly that heart is steel framed, which in spite of one's chanting the holy name of the Lord with concentration does not change even when one displays such signs of transformation as tears in the eyes and ecstatic standing of the hairs on end. If our heart is not changing, then our heart is made of stone, ashtaram, or steel frame. Ashma means stone or steel, earth. So, the best way is like this. Like Ambarish Maharaj. Savaimana Krishna Padaravindayurvachansi Vaikuntha Gunanuvarnane Karau Harirmandiramajjanadishu Shrutim Chakarachyuta Satkathodaye Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Krishau Tadhritya Gatra Sparshenga Sangamam Ghranam Tatatpada Saroja Saurabhe Srimaddulasya Rasanam Tadarpite Pado Hare Kshetra Padanusarpane Shiro Rishikesha Padabhivandane Kamam Chadasya Natu Kama Kamyaya Yathottama Shloka Janashraya Ratihi. Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples, and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered to the Lord. And he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasad. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service and various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment to the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. So this is how we have to engage our life. Then, yes, it is worth living. Our human life, which is temporary, should be spent in such a way that in exchange for it, we get eternal life. You know, when you buy, you want maximum value for your money. Sometimes you bargain also, right? So our time in this human life is finite. So it's a finite resource. It is a wealth that we have which is being spent every moment anyway. So if it can be spent in exchange for eternal life in the kingdom of God, Vaikuntha, and that is the best use, best return on investment. So I would like to stop here. Any questions or comments on this topic? Is it? Oh. So like that, they are all persons. So I think nothing. Of course, one person is writing some crazy thing. You are facing hell and false gospel. Get it right with Jesus before you perish. You are hellbound. He doesn't understand. We are actually following Jesus Christ better than him. Jesus said, "Hallowed be thy name from dawn to dusk." We are trying to do that. What is he trying? Doesn't even chant. Simply speaking nonsense. Somebody is saying, "Maharaj ji, Maharaj, kindly speak Hindi so that we can understand." Sorry, I'm not so fluent in Hindi, and our classes will be in English. Yeah, we do have Hindi channel. I speak Hindi. So, right, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.